10 easy ways to learn English on your own. Determining the purpose of learning English. This needs to be determined how much and why you will need the language you will learn. If this happens, you will not be overwhelmed by meaningless and unnecessary grammar rules and you will save time. If you are not going to be a philologist, you don't need to know detailed grammar rules. You need to learn that how you must learn. You need to create your own language learning method rather than have a wholesale approach. For example, do you use the right lobe of your brain more dominantly or is it the left lobe? This is very important in terms of adding permanence and depth to your activities. The education system in our country is generally left lobe dominated education. However, for permanence, the right lobe must also be activated because the human brain has a working principle. It cannot distinguish between reality and virtual. For example, when you watch a horror movie in the cinema, heart rate increases, blood pressure rises, etc., whereas there is no threat to you. But the brain perceives this as if it were real. While learning a language, it is necessary to make use of this principle of the brain. For example, it is very important to repeat the sample sentences in the mind in scenario and to live in the mind that you are constructing the sentences. This can be thought of as kind of an internal talk. If English sentences don't come to mind, know that you will not able to get them out of your language. For example, when I say blue, yellow and white, if something that evokes these things come to life in your mind, the English patterns need to be envisioned in your mind. The more words I memorize, the better you have to get rid of wrong. Of course, if you are not going to be a philologist, as I said at the beginning, because even if you know 10,000 words, when you put these words side by side, there will be no meaningful unity. Then the important thing is not memorize words, but to focus entirely on phrases. If you focus on the word and not on the phrase, you will focus on a few words from the other person's sentences. But you won't be able to grasp the meaning because the person is making a few sentences at the moment. And the totality of meaning will not appear in your mind. When you watch movies with very poor pronunciation, you will not say that, I see, I cannot pronounce like Americans English, because you are neither an American nor an English. Therefore, if you don't live in those countries for many years, you will never able to pronounce like them. You will speak English like a Turk. If you hear the pronunciations of Japanese or Indian, ours is very good. Therefore, you will not worry about the pronunciation. Pronunciation will sit enough over time. Speaking English begins primarily in the mind. It starts with thought. Mentally, talk to yourself a lot at every opportunity. Go ahead and make sentences in English in front of a mirror. Feel yourself as if you are in a conversations. Don't be afraid to do rule. Don't be afraid to go wrong. Remember that we can make mistakes even when speaking our native language. Don't come into conflict with your native language while making English sentences. Don't forget that it is your mother tongue. You has conveyed your feelings and thoughts in this language until now. Get rid of nonsense like that forget thinking Turkish. It's not possible for a person to get out of molds of his mother tongue. If there is no problem with the brain, of course. Don't get tired of revising. It is the biggest obstacle to forgetting again. What did the old say? Et tekarrür ahsen velev kane 180. It means revising is beautiful even if it is 180 times. This will add automatization to your behavior, actually taking the behavior too. While learning a language, make use of every moment. Because studying is not just at the desk. For example, do lots of mental stimulations between small times and repeat as much as you can with your language. And remember that when learning a language, act with offensive mood, not with a defensive mood.